Hey, 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 happy Friday, happy end of year. It's Christmas. It's the Christmas countdown. I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to find me. Hopefully, everybody's not out celebrating. Hopefully, everybody's not on the champagne already. I'm definitely going to be on the champagne right after this because I have my first Christmas party. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. So this will be our last get together before the end of the year. So I was hoping to combine it with a kind of a goal 101 session and a get together to come together just at the end of the year and just acknowledge how far we've come. You know, we came out of COVID, kind of, a lot of us at least, at the start of the year, and then we went right into the war in Ukraine and into the recession and the whole debating around energy. So it's kind of been a tough year. It really has been a tough year. I can just about see a couple of eyes joining now. If you are joining, say hello to me, say happy Christmas. Where are you calling in from? Let me see if I can find the group. Because if I can find the group, I can see who the comments belong to. And I'm singing. I actually have a glass of wine along with me here. I hope you brought your favorite tipple along with you. I also have a cup of tea with me. That's the kind of granny that I am. And also I'm trying to pace myself before I go out tonight because I don't want to be on my ear before I ever leave the house. So, Merjam, great to see you. Merjam, are you in France? Let me know. I think there will be a lot of people out on their Christmas party tonight. So if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. If you're up for it, you can send in a picture right now. You can put a picture of yourself in the comments if you have decided to wear something Christmassy, or indeed if you have a tipple along with you, just little picture of you with the tipple. I could have done this on a Zoom, but I just wasn't organized enough, I'll be honest. Look, I just noticed here in the picture, hey, Merjam, she's from London, she's living in London. So the wine glasses in France are so small. When we moved into the house here, there was actually some beautiful glassware here already in the house, but the glasses are so small. I just noticed that. They're really tiny compared to the wine glasses that we have in Ireland, which are more like buckets, or the ones that we used to have in Singapore. Okay, so tonight I want to cover a few things. So first of all, while I'm waiting for a few more people to join, hopefully, I want to mention the charity that I support. It's called Operation Underground Railroad. I have actually put a link into the invite for this event. Some people may be looking around for a charity to support. I know for me, it took me a while to find a charity that I felt compelled, that I felt an affinity towards donating towards. So I donate every month, and typically during the feasts, during the year, I will donate a little bit more. So I wanted you to bring your attention to that charity. Go in on the link, have a look. They do amazing work around the world with children to prevent them being trafficked. And I think it's just an amazing charity. But obviously, I don't want to stuff it down anybody's throat. I know you all have amazing charities that you support. So it's just, if you were looking for a charity, something to align yourself with, this is the charity I align myself with, and I encourage you to go in there and have a look. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about goals, because this is the time of year typically when people look at setting goals. So the first thing I want you to do is I actually want you to go in and download a little freebie that I created this morning. I actually, I'm just sending the link for you now. You can go in there and you can download the PDF. It's a little handout that you can actually put on your goals board for the year. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this during this session. So you can write notes on it. I think it's a fantastic thing to put on your vision board or where you store your goals or your diary or whatever. So you can look at it, your goals, in terms of, am I doing all the things I should be to reach my goals? The other thing I want to point out as well is that, you know, goals can be really uncomfortable to set, because oftentimes, you know, we have failed at our goals in the past, or we haven't reached them. So we have that kind of yucky feeling of, well, there's no point in setting goals because I never reach them. But my belief is, whether you set a goal or whether you don't set a goal, you've set an intention. So if you set a goal, you have something to aim toward. Whereas if you don't set a goal, your intention is kind of to be aimless, to kind of do whatever comes up. And I think goal setting is really, really important. Because look at it this way, all our decisions are filtered through our thoughts. So take my decision this morning to create the handout. So this morning I got up and I kind of thought to myself, oh, I have my Christmas party tonight. I don't have anything off the top of my head that I feel amazing in. I think I'm going to go out and get a jacket. And that was my intention for this morning. I was going to take the morning off and I was going to go into Cannes and I was going to get this jacket. But then I kind of thought, well, you know, I was out for my usual hike and I kind of thought to myself, well, what is my goal really? What are my goals for the year? And my goals were build a really, you know, strong community, you know, support the Savvy Stylists as much as I could, be as consistent as I possibly could in my business, over deliver. These are all parts of my goals. Grow my followership, get people into my coaching programs. These are all goals that I have set. So I took the decision this morning to put off going to Cannes and instead staying in and actually creating the handout that you can now download. And I did that because I have a clear goal. I have a clear goal with my business, with the people that I serve, with how I spend my days. Now, I did actually end up going to Cannes in the afternoon, but my two boys got off school at 12 o'clock. So I had my second son with me in the afternoon. We didn't get any shopping done, really. We got a top for him, but that was about it. But that's another of my goals. Another of my goals is really to focus on spending time with my boys, quality time where we get to hang out together, where we do stuff together. And that is actually a goal. It's a definite aim in my life. So I don't just set, you know, goals for my business. I also set goals for my relationships with my husband, with my boys, with my family, all of the things. So I am sure all of you have heard how to set goals in the past. But what I wanted to really focus on this evening is how to achieve those goals and the importance of focusing on what it takes to be successful. Because oftentimes people will set a goal and they won't reach that goal in, you know, the designated time frame, the made up time frame that they made. And then they're just thinking, well, goals don't really work. But I believe they do work. And I am going to be talking about the things that you need to consider when you are setting your goals and when you are reviewing your goals and referring to your goals over the next year, over the next 2 years, over the next 5 years. So as I said, the first thing I want you to do is to go in and download this download or PDF. I have put already the link in there. Let me know if you have got that link. Let me see if I can see it in the group. I've put it in there already. Oh, maybe it's not appearing on the actual group itself. So I'm just going to put it in here again. So you can actually go in there and get that download. So you can even either have it on the screen open and put notes on it, or you can print it off and put notes on it as you actually listen to me speak. Um, okay, so this magic of ladder of success that I have been talking about it's actually based on a book by Napoleon Hill, a book that Napoleon Hill wrote back in 1921. Napoleon Hill is famous for his book Think and Grow Rich. But he had several books before he actually wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. And he wrote this book, The Magic Ladder of Success, back in 1921. And he spent his whole life studying why some people are successful, why some people reach their goals, and why other people don't reach their goals. And he came up with these 16 things that people really need to look at in terms of having success or reaching their goals. So that's what the magic ladder of success is. I have listed those 16 things in the little handout that I've given you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go through those. And I just think they're so accurate that it makes so much sense. It's nothing that anybody can't do, but you really have to apply yourself. So that you eventually reach your goals. So I definitely have goals that if I look back on the last year, I didn't reach. But if I look back at the goals that I set 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago, all of them are pretty much achieved. And that's pretty amazing. But that's because I set goals and I apply myself. So let's talk about what this applying yourself means. So, those of you that are live, let me know, have you set your goals already? Are you looking to set your goals? Is goal setting making you very nervous? Let me know in the comments right now. What do you struggle with when it comes to goal setting? Just before I launch into the magic ladder of success. Okay, so while I'm waiting for some comments to come in, I'm going to start with number one. So what was Napoleon's number one thing he said about reaching success? So the number one thing he mentioned is definite aim. So what is a definite aim? It's a goal. What is your goal? Michelle is saying, doing so now, nervous as heck. Don't be nervous. Everyone has to start somewhere. And you may not reach some of those goals in the way you think you're going to reach them, or in the time frame you think you're going to reach them in. But it's very, very important to set a goal, to set a definite aim. And then not only a definite aim, but a plan for how to get there. Now, I talk to people every week on the phone. I talk to personal stylists every week on the phone. And one of the things we always talk about is their goals. What are their goals for their business? What are their goals for, their work-life balance? What are their overall goals? And I think that many are still really, really, really vague about their goals. So most of them cannot tell me what their financial goal is. They cannot tell me. It's like there's massive fear around this. But if you don't know what your financial goal is, the chances of you reaching it are, kind of zero if you don't have a goal and a plan for how to get there. So say, for instance, right now, you're earning, a couple of hundred every month in your business. And by the way, this is not unusual for personal stylists. You're only earning a couple of hundred a month. And your first aim is, to earn 3,000 a month. Then how are you going to create that in your business? How are you going to get to that goal? Now, I think some of you in here will have bigger goals. Some of you, for instance, will have, the goal of having 10K months or consistent 10K months. So you write that down, that goal, and then you talk about how are you going to get to that goal? How many clients do you need to achieve that goal? What services are they taking? How are you going to get those clients in the door? So it's really, really important to be clear in what the goal is. So is it 3,000? Is it 6,000? Is it 10,000? Set the definite goal. So in terms of setting clear goals, there has to be a number or a clear outcome. It can't be like vague, like I want, 4 more clients every month. 4 more clients of what? Is it color? Is it style? Is it your high-end program? Do you even have the time? How many hours of time is that going to take? Most people are just so vague about goals. So I think it's really, really important to look at, specifics around your goals. Now, Merjam has said here, talk about setting clear goals. I am going to encourage you to go back and look at some other sessions that I've done around goal setting, Merjam, so I can see if I can find the sessions I'm talking about. Usually they're around this time of the year, or you can go in here to the Savvy Stylists online network and do a search on goals. I have talked about setting goals before, but I want to talk more than setting goals. Setting goals is one part of it, but getting to the goals or having successful goals to me is more important. And most people give up because they don't know what to do. So this is what we're talking about today. So number 1 was a definite aim, a definite plan. Number 2 is self-confidence. So you have to believe that you can have it. So lots of personal stylists don't believe, for instance, that they can earn 6 figures every year in their business. What do I mean by 6 figures? It's 100K years. Do you believe that that's possible for you? If you don't even believe that that's possible for you, then the chances of it happening are very, very low. So one of the things that you have to work on is your self-confidence around your goal. And that's why I think it's really important to set realistic goals. So for instance, if you're currently earning a couple of hundred in your business, it's not realistic to set a goal of 10K months. It might be more realistic to set a goal of 3K, example. So your goals need to be realistic to where you are right now. Whereas 100K a year is perfectly realistic for some people, it's not realistic for other people. So I think it's important to set a clear goal, but also a realistic goal. Don't just set something because you saw it somewhere and you have no clue how you're going to make that jump from where you are now to where you want to be. I would look at it as you set a goal that will stretch you, but not a goal that is so far out that you just completely get discouraged and you don't have self-confidence. Because most people who don't have self-confidence, they can't promote themselves, they can't put themselves out there, they can't be visible. If you don't believe in what you're providing, in your own goals, how is everybody else going to support you? So self-confidence is really, really important. And as I said, most people don't believe that they can achieve what they're trying to achieve. And that's one of the things you really need to work on. Why don't you believe that? How can you clear the blocks around that? Number 3 is initiative. So we've talked about having a definite aim, a definite plan. We've talked about self-confidence, and now we're on to initiative. An initiative is taking action, taking that first step to do something in the direction of the goals. So for instance, in the case of becoming a 6-figure stylist, for instance, I've kind of based this ladder of success on that, because that's a lot of the work I do. I help personal stylists to reach consistent 6 figures in their business. So initiative would be, to start, how am I going to achieve that in my business? So it might be reaching out to a coach. It might be, finding other role models who have done this and who you could emulate, who you could use as motivation, who you could use as, well, they did it, therefore I can do it. And how are they doing it? And finding that thing that's going to get you. You have to start taking steps toward that goal. do something toward that goal. So that's the initiative, that first step towards your goal. So it might be as little as, this is my goal, and now I'm going to find, loads of pictures and loads of things to support that goal and put them on my vision board. But it's also the next step after that. It's not enough to put things on your vision board. It's not enough to write down your goal. You have to kind of have the initiative to, maybe get up a bit earlier in the morning. I know that's something that I had to do once I decided to become a six-figure stylist. I had to get up early in the morning before the kids got up to get a certain amount of work done. So that's initiative. It's initiative to move toward my goal. Now, that doesn't work for everyone, but it really worked for me. And 4 years later, that is still my routine. I get up between 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning. I work for a couple of hours before the kids get up, on getting my social media done, on all the things that I need to do. Now, sometimes during the day, I'll often go back for an hour for a rest or whatever, but that initiative of doing the most important jobs first thing in the morning moves me toward my goals every single day. Another initiative might be just write down your goals every day. So they're front of mind, you know exactly what your goals are. So your financial goal, that you want to spend quality time with your family, that, you want to go overseas, whatever your goal is, you write it down every single day, and you will be amazed at, the signs from the universe, the things that are around that can support you to move toward that goal. So that's initiative. Number 4 is imagination. You need imagination to overcome all the problems you're going to face as you try to reach your goals. Because wouldn't it be an amazing world if we could set a goal and we never encountered an obstacle or a problem? The truth is, we will encounter barriers and obstacles over and over again as we try to reach our goals. So having an imagination, a way to think about, how can I overcome this? How can I overcome this problem? How can I solve this problem? So that I can keep moving toward my goal. And the truth is, no matter what level in your business, you have to use your imagination all the time. How can I get in front of more people? How can I get more clients? How can I charge more? How can I? All the things that we need to do as entrepreneurs requires imagination. So imagination. Number 5 is action. It's not enough to just get started. It's not enough just to have initiative. You need to take action. And as Tony Robbins says, I heard this quote from him many, many years ago, you need to take massive action. Goals will not manifest by themselves. That's 100% I'm sure of. Manifest means to make real. To make real, you need to take action. You need to do the things that will get you closer to your goals. So action. And you're going to hear this in different forms right throughout the 16 rungs on this ladder of success, because it's so important. Because the other thing that I see out there is there are so many gurus kind of talking about manifestation. And then some people think that to manifest means I just have to have the thought, or I just have to put it on my vision board and it's going to happen. No. Manifestation is to make real. So once you start moving toward your goal, though, and once you are clear in your intention, what you will find is that the universe starts to turn up things that will support you in reaching that goal. So it's a slightly different way of looking at it. You still have to take action, though, on those things that the universe provides you with. Okay, so that is action. Was I at action? Yes, action. Number 6 is enthusiasm. You need to have enthusiasm for your goal. So, I see, people sometimes come on social media and they are just dead, like on a monotone. They're not a bit enthusiastic about what they're providing. They're not a bit excited. They're not a bit passionate. They stay so safe, just putting out stuff that, is going to ruffle nobody's feathers, that everyone's going to be, they want to stay everyone's friend. Honestly, you have to show enthusiasm for your thing. For other people to be enthusiastic about your thing. So enthusiasm about your goal. Are you excited about it? Can you talk about it? Can you tell people about it? Can you ask people for what you need to get to that goal? Enthusiasm is really important. It's a completely different energy to, hiding behind, social media graphics or hiding behind whatever, because you don't want to show yourself. That does not demonstrate enthusiasm. Even if, you feel like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they're doing, is the truth. Nobody knows what they're doing when they're doing it for the first time. After they do it a number of times, yes, they get better, they get more polished at it. But most people, when they're starting on social media, most people, when they raise their prices, most people, when they put a new program out there, they do not feel confident. They feel like that they're awkward and everyone's going to know that they're doing it for the first time. Maybe, but you will get better. I was definitely the worst you ever saw on video. Honestly, you would not believe it now because I'm doing it 4 years later. But when I was started, I was so terrified. I was so terrified that people were going to judge my accent, what I looked like, what I was saying. It was really, really scary, but I pushed through. And I allowed my natural enthusiasm initially for color to just come out, even though I felt sometimes it wasn't the most fashionable thing, it wasn't the most trendy thing, but it was something that I loved and I was enthusiastic about. And I hope that if you're setting goals, that you love and you're enthusiastic about them, because if you're not, the chances of reaching them are very, very low. Okay, so we're now on to number 7, which is self-control. So self-control. Now, self-control is really mastery of your emotions. When you're in business, when you're on social media, you will be triggered often. Honestly, people will come on your posts. Somebody will say something. Somebody else will put a post out there, maybe contradicting what you're saying. Having self-control in your business, the ability to allow people have their opinion, and for it not to mean something about you. That's really, really important, because nobody, absolutely nobody, is interested in working with a negative Nelly. Nobody. People want to work with people who are enthusiastic, who are positive, who will show them the way. So mastering your emotions, like I saw this on social media yesterday, where a coach on there said that she couldn't help herself. She had to go on and start an argument on social media. And I'm here like, how is that getting you closer to your goals? It absolutely isn't. It's moving you away from your goals. So it's really, really important to master self-control, because you're going to have a lot of very, very frustrating days in your business. You're going to have many detractors, or people telling you it won't work, or maybe people contradicting you, or all the things that can happen in business. And I think it's really, really important to master self-control and set the rules for yourself. So for instance, when somebody puts a negative comment on my post, unless I can use it beneficially and repost it in another way, I will delete the comment. But if I'm trying to make a point and I'm using the post to promote myself, I will do that for sure. I won't necessarily, run somebody into the ground or anything like that. But because I believe also we gain nothing from tearing somebody else down, absolutely nothing. And I'll talk again about that a little bit later. Number 8, we're halfway through already. And number 8 is the concept of over delivering. It is really, really important that you over deliver on value. So, that's one of my beliefs, is always to over deliver, give people more than they expect. A classic example of that is, for instance, I have a lady who comes and does my nails, and she is just such an over deliverer every time. She's a perfectionist. She makes sure that she gets it right every time. She gives me a lovely experience every time. And she is head and shoulders above anybody else who has done the service for me. She over delivers. I tip her handsomely. I get her back every single time. I recommend her to all my friends. And those recommendations are gold dust, as you know. So over deliver. How can you over deliver? Give something that people aren't expecting. So yesterday I got my eyelashes and my eyebrows tinted, and the lady, I actually got my eyelashes curled. They're so teeny, you can barely see it, but I got them curled and I got them tinted, and she did my eyebrows for free. She over delivered. Guess who's going to be going back there again? Guess who's going to be going back there again? So over delivering, give more than what people expect, give them a lovely experience, and over deliver every time. I don't think that anyone really ever gained from having a scarcity mindset. Okay, so we're up to number 8. So number 1 was definite aim. Number 2 was self-confidence. Number 3 was initiative. Number 4 was imagination. Number 5 was action. Number 6 was enthusiasm. Number 7 was self-control. Number 8 was over deliver every time. Number 9, attractive personality. Now, this kind of feeds into what I was saying already, actually. People want to hang out with people who are kind, who are nice, who are enthusiastic, who are interesting, who, and if you're online, if you're promoting your business, if you are, the main provider in your business, it's not that you have to be beautiful, absolutely not, but you have to be the kind of person that people want to hang out with. You have to make an effort. It doesn't mean that you have to be extroverted if you're not extroverted, but it's to make that effort to be attractive to other people. And some people rail against the machine around that. They don't want to do that. But honestly, to make a business people facing, you do need those attractive character or attractive personality traits. And as I said, it's not about being beautiful. It's not about being the best looking person in the room. It's about being kind, being interested in people, providing value to people, all of those things that we love in our friends and the people that we hang out with. And it's definitely not about going on to people's posts and putting negative comments or running people down or being awkward or being like stingy or any of those things that we don't like in other people. So I think an attractive personality is very, very important. It, as Dale Carnegie's book says, something, what's it again? How to Win Friends and something. So that is definitely a book I recommend if you're looking to, increase your influence with people. For a lot of people, when they allow themselves to be natural, actually, they have a very attractive personality. So attractive personality, I believe, and obviously Napoleon Hill believes, he has a lot more weight behind him, that an attractive personality is important. Number 10, accurate thought. So this is a really interesting one, but it's very, very important. Some people believe every single thing that they come across. They believe every bit of knowledge that's out there just because somebody wrote it somewhere. But the reality is there is so much information out there in the internet, out there all over the world now. And a lot of it is not factual, a lot of it's not correct. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is to look at the information around what you're trying to achieve, what people are telling you about it, and take it for checking. Check that what you are implementing or the advice you're listening to actually works. It's very, very important to make sure that whatever you're implementing, you have proof that it works. You have proof that somebody else has done it, and that you're not just wasting masses of time. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a certain amount of trial and error in running your business. Of course there is, but don't just take everything that you find online and believe it as gospel. Take it for checking. Make sure that what you're implementing, what you're doing to reach your goal is accurate. I'm just going to take a sip of wine. It's lovely. Okay, so that's accurate thought. Take it for checking. Number 11, concentration. I know this is harder for some personality types than others, but it's like, it's very easy to get distracted, with shiny objects, with the things that we like doing. And sometimes we are not really concentrating on getting the goal, on doing the things to get the goal. So that's why my 5 a.m. Times when I get up in the morning are so critical to me. They're so important to me because it gives me 2 hours when I can just focus on the things that I need to do to move a little bit closer, to nudge a bit closer to my goals. So, block out time every day to do the things that you need to do to get closer to your goals. So for instance, this morning, I could have chose to have gone shopping instead of creating the handout that I created for you guys today. I could easily have gone shopping this morning, but I came back to my goals. I blocked out that time and I concentrated until I got the task done. So concentration is really, really important. And that's why, not setting a goal also just does not work, because what do you focus on? You're aimless. So if I didn't have goals, I'd get up this morning and wander around and do whatever took my fancy, because I don't have a specific goal that I need to reach. So concentration is really important. Number 12, persistency. Stick to the plan, work the plan, persist. Even when you're failing, even when it looks like nobody's turning up, like here tonight, there are 2 eyes that I can see on watching me. I could easily have cancelled this. There's no interest. People are out shopping, but no, I persist and I am consistent and I turn up at the time I say I'm going to turn up, and I deliver what I say I'm going to deliver. And I am persistent, even if it looks like on the surface that it's not working. If you are persistent, if you are consistent, it will work. And it's also to persist when, the going gets tough, when you have adversary. It's just to persist with taking, even some days the steps feel backward, to persist with the steps that you need to take to reach your goal. Number 13, failures. Failures are absolutely inevitable. They're inevitable in life and they are inevitable in your business. You'll have failed launches. You'll have failed, people will ask for refunds. You will have, I had even somebody the other day who, joined my course. She was taking all the materials, doing all the things, telling me she loved the course. And then she decided, well, I'm not making the last payments on the course. And I'm here, well, it doesn't really work like that. I'm really sorry. But people might perceive that as a failure. I don't really perceive it as a failure. I just look to see that my policy has the right conditions in place, so I can pursue that, or so that I can minimize that happening to me. So failures can oftentimes kind of have a silver lining. They can have something there that actually you learned. There was a golden nugget in there in that failure that will advance you in the longer term, that will provide growth to you in the longer term, that will provide you with a more solid background to build on. All the failures in my business at the time, they felt like, oh, this is devastating, it's awful. I look back on them now and I realize, oh my God, that had to happen. That needed to happen for me to do this. It needed to happen for me to realize, you know, you're going to have to get more serious about this. You're going to have to focus more on this. You're going to have to try something else maybe. So that's why athletes do so well, I think, even when they move out of sport and into, you know, the business world. They're so used to failure. They have failed so many times and they're so used to picking themselves up, dusting themselves off and getting back out there again, that they end up doing really, really well. You're going to need to get comfortable with failure. You know, in my Six Figure Stylist, one of the things I do is I help people to, you know, create a program that will, you know, provide them six-figure income. They have to run that first launch as part of the program. Some of them run that first launch and maybe they just get 1 or 2, and they were hoping that, you know, they get 4 or 6 people. And they're here. I don't want to run the program. Am I here? This is a massive celebration if you got 1 person into the launch. It's actually a massive celebration even if you get nobody into the launch, because you have learned so much to get to this point. It's never, ever going to be as hard again. And even if there's only 1 person on your program, you turn up and you run that program. And the next time there might be 3, and the next time there might be 10. I know Denise Duffel Thomas, who has like a business in the millions now, I think 12 million or something like that. The first time she ran her course, which has generated 12 million since, there was just like 1 or 2 people in the program. That has definitely happened to me in the past, where, you know, I just had 1 or 2 people and it grew to something a lot bigger. But most people kind of give up after that first failure. They stop. That is the biggest mistake you can make. You have to look at that failure and see, what is it, the thing in that? What is the golden nugget in that will allow me to, you know, be better the next time? That I'll do it more efficiently the next time. I'll do it better the next time. So number 13 is failures. Number 14 is tolerance and sympathy. Now, this is really important because we're usually not trying to achieve our goals by ourselves. Usually there's other people involved. So, you know, for instance, most people have a partner. And oftentimes the partner is not on board with our goals. I know mine definitely wasn't. Another sip of wine. Until I started making money, he wasn't really that interested in my goals. He wanted me to be there for the kids every minute of every day, there for him when he wanted to make a sandwich or whatever. So I had to work with him to get him on board, to, you know, compromise a little bit, but also push him to help me to achieve my goals and for him to see the importance of my goals. And oftentimes we don't have support around us at home. We really don't. There isn't business people around us at home. So that's why I absolutely love masterminds. That's why I love community, because you have a group of like-minded people trying to achieve the same goal. They will support you when your husband's not supporting you, when your partner is not supporting you, when your family is not supporting you. You know, masterminds are just the most amazing thing. They encourage belief, they encourage confidence, they encourage, you know, all of these things that I'm talking about here, concentration, persistency, all of the things that we need to get to our goals. We're nearly there now. Number 15 is work. Again, action, work. So Napoleon Hill has mentioned this 3 times on the ladder. This is how important it is. So first of all, he talked about initiative. on point number 5, he talked about action, and now he's talking about work. There is a lot of work involved the majority of the time to reach your goals. They're not, everyone would be achieving, 6 figures in their business if there wasn't work involved. There is work involved. There is consistent work involved. You need to be, really, really concentrate, be persistent, do all the things to reach your goal. So work is in here again. And the last one, number 16, is the golden rule. And the golden rule that Napoleon Hill talked about in his ladder of success is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think this is brilliant. I heard this initially because I'm a Roman Catholic, I'm Christian, and I think it was one of the commandments, but I've definitely heard it right throughout my religious education. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and you will not go wrong in your business. Because business or reaching your goals, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You'll hear me say this a lot. The reality is, reaching our goals can often take many years. Being in business is often many years. And do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And this will definitely lead to your success and everybody else's success. And it feeds into all of the other things that I talked about below, like the help you when there's failures happening. It'll help you to be a more attractive personality. It'll help you with enthusiasm, because when we are doing things that are not in congruence with our personality anyway, when we're doing things that don't feel right, this is a very, very rocky path to go down, and it undermines everything that we do. So those are the 16 rungs on the ladders of success. So for the 2 people who are watching me, or if you're watching on replay, #replay, let me know which of these would you say is the most difficult. Out of these 16 that I just listed, which would you say is the most difficult? So definite aim, self-confidence, initiative, imagination, action, enthusiasm, self-control, over-deliver, attractive personality, accurate thought, concentration, persistency, failures, tolerance and sympathy, work, or the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Which of these would you say is the hardest one to implement as part of reaching your goals? Merjam is saying, good idea to do social media early, otherwise always too busy for it. Yeah, I find that that's just my most creative, time of the day. So Michelle has put in here failures. Yeah, failures can be very, very difficult when you're going through them. They can be really, really difficult. But one of the ways to reframe this, Michelle, is to go back and look at some failures that you've had in the past, and see if you can look at them now and see that, oh, I learned so much from that. I really learned so much for that, or that changed the direction of my life for the better in the longer term. So sometimes things fail for a reason. Like, so an example of that for me would definitely have been the time that, before I restarted my image business, I tried to get a job here in France in manufacturing, because that's where I originally came from. And it seemed to be a good idea at the time. I could not get a job. I failed at every turn. But it got me to here. When I look back now, it was the best thing that ever happened. I really was not cut out for a 9-to-5 job. I really didn't want to spend that much time away from my children. I would have been bored to death. So sometimes things happen for a reason. Merjam is saying, thanks, Aileen. Self-confidence to believe that I can do it. Yeah. So once you identify, that that's difficult for you, Merjam, what I would do is I would take steps to move toward being more self-confident. So I would ask myself the question of, how could I be more self-confident? Have I, done things in the past that, I've been really good at? Have I testimonials that people are really, really delighted with some work that I've done? Maybe you haven't made money in your business, but maybe you've made money in, for instance, a job that you worked at. Maybe you were good at maths in school. So self-confidence is about looking around and gathering the evidence to prove that, you have had successes in the past. You have had positive things happen in the past. And, focusing on that rather than the voice in the head that's telling you you're not good enough, someone else is doing it better. I don't look like, one of the things that used to go around in my head, I don't look like a personal stylist. I don't act like a personal stylist. I don't even like shopping. All of the things that we tell ourselves that make us feel less than. And I think sometimes it's to do with social media as well. We're looking on social media and we're seeing that, so many people on there are showing pictures of their best self. They're putting out their glossy branded content and, only the positive things that are happening to them. The reality is, Merjam, no matter how positively people, present themselves, everybody kind of has the same amount of shit in their life, for want of a better word. Like there's negative and positive. Nobody has a clear path the whole way. Nobody. I don't care how good they are. Every positive comes with something else. So I think working on that self-confidence is really, really important. And sometimes it's also when the ladies come into my six-figure stylist program, one of the things they tell me is like that they're struggling with their self-confidence. They have like doubt, they have imposter syndrome. And when I dig down, I realize they just don't really feel that comfortable with what they're offering. They don't feel like they're offering the thing that we're trained in, but they don't feel experts in that area. And that's why I spend so much time on helping them identify who their ideal client is, who they're best suited to work with, because people are picking, ideal clients out of the air. They're picking people that they think have money, for instance. They're picking people that they think will be able to afford them or that want their services, but they're not really in alignment with what they're providing. And honestly, you really need to be in alignment with what you're providing. Like, for instance, I feel very, very aligned to personal stylists. I feel very aligned to personal stylists trying to have financial success in their business, because that used to be me. That used to be me. I understand at a gut level what is going on. Do you understand at a gut level what is going on with your client? Are you just offering color and style and makeup and wardrobe or whatever to every person out there? So it's really, really important to get that initial pillar right. Now, the other thing I want to mention before I go is that I am starting a new round of the Six-Figure Stylist in January. I'm going to be kicking off on the 9th of January, I think it is, the 9th of January. And if you have a goal to be a six-figure stylist, to create something, to create a business model that is going to get you that kind of income, doing something that you absolutely adore doing, then drop me a message, because I will be taking 4 people only. And then I'm not sure when I'll open it again. So yeah, so that's the Six-Figure Stylist if you're interested in joining the January round. Also the download, don't forget to do the download and put it on your I'm pointing here to my my vision board, put it on your vision board. And then on this actual download, you will see a little link down at the bottom for the Six-Figure Stylist. So if you are thinking of joining my program, or you want to know more about there's testimonials in there, there's information in there. Click on that and you will go to the application form and you'll be able to apply for a place to start in January. So that is all for now. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and New Year with your family. Michelle is saying, where is the download to be found? I've actually put it in the comments, Michelle. I've just put it in again there. So you can click on that, input your details, and you can download the handout that I talked you through today. If you are watching this on replay, #replay, #Happy Christmas. And I won't be live now probably until the new year, but you never know. But unlikely I'll be live. Definitely won't be giving a training before the new year. So what else did I want to say? Yeah, I'm going to Ireland next week for a week to spend with my family. And then I will be back the following week. So I'll be getting started again in January. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and holiday season ahead. And I will chat to you all again very soon. Let me see.